Stuffed quahogs, also known as stuffies in Rhode Island, is a seafood dish originating from colonial times. Although there are many variations, the dish typically includes hard-shelled clams, onion, breadcrumbs, celery, peppers, chorizo, and corn. All of the meat and vegetables are chopped and mixed together before being placed back into the quahog shell for serving. This is a popular New England dish as the bays near Massachusetts have historically always been a proper environment for hard clams. This means clams have high survival rates, leading to a massive population in comparison to other states along the East Coast. The concept of stuffed quahogs was first created by Native Americans. Shellfish were originally gathered by women, young children, and the elderly. In these New England pre-colonial communities, shellfish dishes were a staple food. Native Americans combined clams with plants to add to their dietary value and make them into sufficient meals. Once colonizers settled in the area and Native Americans were pushed out of their land, Native American women would travel back to coastal areas with their children in order to gather the shellfish and bring them back to the reservation. The name quahogs came after Native Americans harvested them in the New England area. They would tread in the water for them, then they would eat the meat and use the remaining shells as tools. This compares with the English colonists, who would tread with metal rakes to collect clams more efficiently. These rakes are still used today, making the hard clamming process a simple one that anyone could do with the right equipment.
We found the most effective thing is just your bare feet. So you just it takes a while to get used to doing it. You just traipse along in the sand. You find a sandy, muddy area, and you just dig around with your toes, and you feel something that feels like a rock, and you reach down and dig it out, and it's most of the time it's a quahog. I mean, we can fill a basket pretty quickly with those. So to make stuffed quahogs, I mean, I've seen them made 100 different ways. At the end of the day, you're going to pick up some vegetables and or meat that you like, and you're going to basically chop it all up real fine, and essentially you're going to mix it with the clams. So the way I make it is I make it with onions, sometimes a little bit of garlic, peppers. You can use any peppers. Portuguese sausage called chouriço, also corn, breadcrumbs. You can use regular breadcrumbs or you can use panko. We like the panko a lot lately, and maybe some parm cheese. So you dice up all your stuff and you start sauteing that up in a pan till you get to, some people like them a little crunchier, some people don't like them as crunchy. So to however you like them. While you're doing that, you get some water boiling, you put your clams in, and you just cook the clams until they open. Let them cool a little bit. You take all the clams out of the shells, keep the shells, keep the bigger ones, say the bigger shells, so you can put the stuffed clams back in them. And then once everything's done, you can throw your chopped clams right in and give it all a good stir. Season it however you like with salt and pepper, maybe a little garlic powder, whatever seasonings you like, you can put in there. Then what you do is you start mixing in the breadcrumbs, pack it the way you want into the shell. So then once you've done that, you just take your clam shells, you get them all laid out on a cookie sheet probably, and then scoop them out to the size you want. And, you fill them up pretty good, and you preheat the oven to say 350. All right, pop them in for 10 minutes on bake, and then switch the oven to broil, and that'll finish cooking them, and it'll give them that nice crunchy texture on the top, which to me is what makes them so great. And then once they look done, they're done, because you pretty much cooked everything before you put it in there. So all you're trying to do is kind of bring all the flavors together and give it a little browning. We buy like a creamy horseradish sauce or whatever else you like if you want, or you can just eat them straight, and then people just have at it, and that's all there is to it. So we bought a little boat, a little 18-foot Wellcraft, and we trailed that all over the place. We took it on the Cape, down the Cape on vacations. We used to take it out in Boston Harbor. We had no idea what we were doing. Didn't catch much for a long time. And then, through the course of time, trials and tribulations, we started learning what we were doing. And then we bought the bigger boat, which was there's a picture of it right there, an old wooden Egg Harbor, which was a huge step up from what we had. And we put that down in Westport, where we started learning how to do more and more and more fish. So yeah, it's probably started around the time I was 10. And when I was a kid down there were a bunch of guys, a bunch of young kids and we would just go out for the day and just figure things out. And clamming was one of those things that you learn how to do. Yeah, I mean, we've had so many. We've done it for so much for so long. I mean, starting when you guys were all little and the kids, everybody was little peanuts out there, you know, digging around in their bare feet, getting pinched by crabs and freaking out. And it's just something we've done for so long that you know, now all the kids are all old enough to do it on their own, and you know, we probably clam in one form or another, you know, 20, 30 times a summer. So just watching all you guys kind of grow up doing it, and yeah, it's been awesome. So, and it's something the kids do. You guys all let now when their friends come down, they show their friends how to do it, and they send them home with all these clams, and it's become kind of a tradition, I guess.